Hello everyone and welcome back to your piano lesson. If you are here for the first time, I am Gianluca Fronda, your virtual piano teacher. If you want to discover interesting facts about me, you can watch the introduction video of this channel. I'm leaving the link in the description of this video, where you will find also the link for my artistic channel, Gianluca Fronda, pianist and composer, if you're interested in original music and covers. Talking about this channel, don't forget to subscribe and let me know about yourself by commenting. Tell me when you have started, if you're finding my channel interesting and you're improving your skills also thanks to my videos. And don't forget also to share with your friends if there is anybody interested in piano music, anybody that you know. So now time to go to our lesson. Welcome to the 20th music theory lesson. If it's the first time that you are landing on this channel or that you are finding my music theory lessons, you can find the playlist with all the previous videos, all the previous tutorials published in the description of this video. Today I have to talk about one of the most exciting topics, introduced already the previous week when I explained the major scale, the birth of the major scale. Today I have to talk about the circle of fifths. And the funny bit is that I won't use a clock to explain the circle of fifths. So, we have to definitely repeat a little bit what I explained the last week to understand what do I mean and why did I have to take the clock. I explained how the major scale was born. I've been talking about the tetrachord, that is the real core of the major scale. The tetrachord is made of tone, tone, semitone. It's a pattern of 4 notes, and the most basic one is the one having C as the first note, then D, E and F. Tone, tone, semitone. I told you that by simply copying the first and passing and using it again identical in terms of distances, keeping the distance on one tone in between the last of the first and the first of the second tetrachord, you will get the one that we call the major scale. What is a scale? The scale is simply nothing less, nothing more than the big shelf where you find all the notes that you can use for the song or for the composition, for the piece that you are going to compose or to play. Now we have to finally develop more what I also introduced, that by simply deleting the first tetrachord of the scale that you get, for example of the C major scale, and adding on top of the second, that was the one starting from the G, another one respecting the same identical distances, you will get another scale, the second one on the circle of fifths. You will get the G major, and then so on, you will get the D major, and then you will get the A major. But let's now try to understand more why we can use the clock to explain the circle of fifths. The circle of fifths, for example, same as is printed in many theory books, and for example I'm using the one that is usually used to study the music theory according to the ABRSM system. This is the part 1. It is explained, the circle of fifths, in the chapter 4. So this is the circle of fifths. And let's count 1 second together how many key signatures there are. I will explain also what does it mean key signature. For you, key signature has to mean scales. For now, it's more than enough. C major scale, G major scale, D major scale. Let's count. Starting from this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We will understand why they are 12. We will understand in practice, building up properly all the scales using the method of the tetrachords. But how many numbers do we have on the clock? I don't need to count, you know, we have 12 numbers, 12 hours. And this is the reason why I can definitely use the clock to explain, in a funny way, and that definitely would help you even more memorizing this concept, because the scales, or the key signatures, as placed on the circle of fifths, can definitely be placed here. And there is also one more interesting coincidence that has to be transformed just a little bit. Pay attention 1 second to this concept. In between the note C and the G, let's refer to the alphabet. Which one is the distance in between the notes C and G, or the letter C and the letter G? Let's count in the musical way. In music we have to include the first and the last. So if I start from C, I have to do C, D, E, F and G. 5 notes. How many numbers? How many minutes or how many seconds there are in between 12 and 1? So obviously 1 is standing for 5 minutes or for 5 seconds. This is the reason why I say that we can use the clock. I know you might say, if you want to be a little bit fussy, in between C and D, in between we have just 3 letters or 3 notes. In between the 12 or the 0 and 1 we have 4 numbers. This is the only reason why you might say, oh, but sorry, it's not exactly the same. But let's use a little bit of imagination and let's forget about this small difference, because obviously on the clock you don't include the start, but the 1 is here straight after. In music, no, we say that this is 1. And this is the small difference that we have, but doesn't matter. Simply refer to the fact that we have 12 key signatures, 12 scales, and we have 12 hours, 12 numbers on the clock. This is the reason why I want to use it, and I think that is fantastic. Now, another very interesting aspect of the clock, if compared to the circle of fifths, is the one that I'm going to show you now. What did we discover the last week, and obviously that today will be discovered more and more? That when we face the G major scale, the G major key signature, using again the principle of the tetrachords, so this one was the C major, yeah? Let's take it off. Let's start now from the G. I told you that we have to apply the semi-identical distances. And that's why, building up the second tetrachord, I have to do tone, tone, semitone. And I have to use the F sharp. The G major scale is the scale having 1 sharp, just 1 sharp. And that's why I can place the G here. 1, number 1, is reminding you that we have 1 sharp. Let's try now to build up the other one, the second one, the scale starting from the D, using the semi-identical principle. I will face this black key. And the D major scale indeed has 2 sharps, that are the F sharp and the C sharp. And we can place on the number 2, because this one was the first, this is the second, the D is the second. 2 sharps, number 2. And you can easily understand now that the A major has 3 sharps. Let's double check. So we start from A and we do. And here we are. These are the 3 sharps. F, C, G. You have to remember also, and I will explain later, that they have to be placed in your mind according to the order. The first one was the F sharp in the G. The second one that has been added was the C sharp in the D major scale. The third one, the G sharp. And we will understand also which one is the distance that they keep in between each other. So we discovered now that the A major is the one with 3 sharps, and we are placing it exactly here. The one with 4 sharps will be the E. And indeed, this one was A. We start the new one, the E major, and look. And that's why we can place it on the number 4. We have 4 black keys, 4 sharps. Let's maybe start focusing more on the fact that there are 4 sharps, not exactly 4 black keys, because in a few seconds you will notice that you have to definitely be more and more careful. The one with the 4 sharps says F sharp, C sharp, G sharp and D sharp. Respect the order. And now, time to build up the one with 5 sharps. That is the B major scale. Why? Look, we did E major. Now let's take off the first. Maybe bring it here. So, D major, what did we say the last week? Since we have to respect now the distance of 1 tone in between the last note of the first tetrachord and the first of the second one, I don't have to go to the natural F. I have to go here, respecting tone, tone, semitone. And voila, this is B major scale. Having 5 sharps, they are F, C, G, D, A, or respecting the order. I'm playing them here because it is very easy for the camera to catch them. And now we are finally at a very tricky point. I have reached the total amount of the black keys featured by the piano. Now you might say, oh my god, if I have used all the black keys, how can I have something having 6 sharps? How can I consider something having 7 sharps? Because obviously you have to remember that if I have 7 notes, all of them can be sharpened. Here we are. We are at the most exciting point of the circle of fifth. The scale with 6 sharps would be the F sharp major. But how can it be possible? Let's try to now pay attention. So B major was... Let's delete the first one. We have to start now from the F sharp. So F sharp. Now I have to keep the distance of 1 tone in between the last note of the previous tetrachord and the first of the following. I have to definitely go here. The note will be, if this is F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, this one will be C sharp, D sharp, and pay attention now. Let me maybe move down, yeah? Will be easier. This one was D sharp. Now do you know where I have to go? Respecting the concept of tone. Tone! I have to go here. And then I will go here. But pay attention, if this is C sharp, this is D sharp, this one must be called E sharp. You discovered in one of the music theory lessons with me that, finally, you can call some of the keys with at least 2 different names. This one you know as F, but now in this case will be called E sharp. Because in the scale we have to respect the order of the notes, the order of the names. All of them have to be featured. And we can't miss even one. So this is have to be definitely called E sharp. And here we are. This is the reason why we can have 6 sharps. We have indeed, let's double check, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, and E sharp. The last one is E sharp, of this scale with 6 sharps. And finally now the one with 7. We have just one note missing. If you checked all the names, probably you understood that the only one that is missing is the B, the note B, that now has to be sharpened. And indeed, let's check if it's for real what I am saying. So if I build up the F sharp, I read it off, now I have to start from this note that indeed I am calling C sharp. And according to the same identical principle, I have to start from this, keeping the distance of 1 tone, and I have to do G sharp, A sharp, 1 tone, B sharp, here we are, the one that usually you call C, that now has to be called B sharp. Finally ending on the C sharp. Let's check the names. C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, and C sharp. This is the scale featuring only sharpened notes. We are on the number 7. But now you might ask, oh my god, and what is happening? How can I go further? If I've already sharpened all the notes, should I start using double sharps? Could be possible, but we are not doing it. We are not using scales with double sharps, to make it simple. We are going now back 1 second to the center, to the middle, to the C, to the number 12 on the clock, and we start doing exactly the same thing, going to the other side. Going back to the number 12, that has to be considered like a 0. This is the 0 of the circle of fifth. Also, let's try to understand also why it can be called the 0 of the circle of fifth. The C major is completely white, it's blank, doesn't have any sharp or any flat in the key signature. That's why we consider like the 0 of the circle of fifth. Now I want to go to the other side and start exactly the same story. But in which way? I go back to the C major. Now I have to do something else. Instead of adding to the right, I want to add to the left. Applying the same and identical principle, I am going now to delete the top one because I want to add one more to the left. But according to the principle that in between the last of the, let's say of the first that is on the left side and the beginning of the second that is on the right side, we have to keep the distance of one tone. Now I am using these first, and I am adding the one on the left side. I have to keep the distance of one tone in between the fifth note, that is the first of the tetrachord that I'm going to use, and the last of the one that I'm now adding to the left. I hope you understand what I mean. Look, if I am building it up in this way, I take it off, I keep this, and I have to keep the distance of one tone in between this and the last of the previous. I am not going here, I must go here. And I was saying that's why we have in F major, probably some of you knows, in F major we have one flat is the first scale featuring one flat. And indeed is on the step number one going to the left. We might maybe change the rules of the clock and say, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, also from the other side. It's just to have fun. So this is now F major. Because you see that anyways has been respected the concept of the tetrachord. Look, tone, tone, semitone. Tone, tone, semitone. And we are keeping then the distance of one tone in between the last of the first tetrachord and the beginning of the second. Here we are. Now let me take this scale and come here, yeah? Now I want to delete, as usual, the last one, and I want to add one more to the left. Keeping the distance of one tone now going down, I must consider this one as the last one. And indeed, what will I do? I can build up, obviously, the tetrachord going down, backward. Semitone first in between the fourth and the third. And so in between these, I have to go D. To respect the semitone, I must go down to the D. Then one tone between the third and the second, and one tone. Look, this is the fourth. This is the third note. This is the second note. This is the first note. And anyways, they are respecting semitone, tone, and tone. And that's it. And which scale is this one? This is the one that we call B flat major. Will be placed on the number 10. If F was on the number 11, this one will be on the number 10. And the flats are exactly 2. These and these are identical. So the two flats are these. And they also have to be considered in this way. Keeping the distance of 1/5. We will check. We will go back also to the sharps and to the flats. And we will discover the flats, how they have to be considered. Which one is the distance in between them. So we have B flat major. Now we can go a little bit faster. So I delete this one. I build up the other one. I'm building up the E flat major. With the same principle, we'll be on the number 9. With the 3 flats. Now I delete this one. I keep these and I build up another one, keeping the distance of one tone in between the last and the first. I mean the first and the second. And which one is this? This is A flat major, the one featuring 4 flats that will go on the number 8. And now I want to slow down a little bit. I bring it here again. I bring it up. I move it to the middle of the keyboard. And now pay attention, I delete this one, and I'm adding the one to the left. And what is happening here by magic? Look! Now which one is this? This one is the one that we discovered previously. The one with 7 sharps. Here we are. You see that we have written D flat and C sharp. These two scales have the same identical notes, the same identical sound, and can be called, sometime, in 2 different ways. The composer can choose to call this scale D flat major or C sharp major. This is a matching point on the number 7, exactly here. Exactly here. We will have 2 scales, the same identical. 2 scales I say just because this scale can be considered with 7 sharps or with 5 flats. And easy to be understood now if I proceed with the same identical principle, deleting this one, I add one more to the left. I am getting the one that we called previously F sharp major, that now can be called G flat major, because you see we are moving down respecting always the distance of 1/5. From C to the F going down, 5 notes. C, B, A, G, F. Refer to the alphabet. Fifth, 5. From the F to the B flat, let's remember the alphabet. F, E, D, C, B. To help you understanding that I am respecting the order of the notes, I am writing down the letters of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. This is something that will help everybody, because I know that can be tricky. So I was saying, moving from the C to the F, we have C, B, A, G, F, because obviously you have to restart then from the last 5 notes. Moving from the F to the B flat to the B, let's consider the names. We have F, E, D, C, B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And indeed, that's why we are going to the B. But that's to be flat, because it was already flattened in the F. And not only, the reason is also the one of the distances. And you understood that it comes out B flat because we are respecting those patterns that I explained, talking about the tetrachord and obviously as a result the major scale. Moving from the B flat we go down to the E flat. Let's see if it's for real. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Indeed, E flat. Now from the E flat we have to go down and we will find A flat. Let's see if it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A flat. And same story, you can simply use the same identical principle using the letters of the alphabet, and let's see if going down there is for real the distance of 5 notes that is the result of this tetrachord. Okay? And now I was saying also that here we matched the F sharp major going to the G flat, and I can do the same now if I use again the G flat major. You know now that can be called also F sharp major, but now it's to be considered like G flat major. Delete this one and let's see what happened. So adding now the other one, keeping the distance of 1 tone in between this and the last of the previous, it will be, and this is nothing less, nothing more than the B major. Look, B major is corresponding to the C flat major. It is obvious that this scale is in general used as considered like B major. It's really unlikely that you will find it as a C flat major. Okay, so I really hope that this introduction to the circle of fifth is clear to you. You understood something more. There is more that has to be discovered and explained, because there are interesting, very interesting things that I will prefer to explain in the next video. It's about how to get the name of the key signature if I give you the number of flats or sharps, because there is something quite interesting and secret that has to be revealed. And indeed we will double check again the distances also in between the flats and the sharps, as I already introduced today in the tutorial. Anyways, if you have any question, feel free to contact me. If you didn't get anything, because I know that this is quite tricky, quite complicated, feel free to contact me by commenting. If it's the first time you're landing on this channel thanks to this video, don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next one. Thank you, bye bye.